Hey guys, welcome back to another video. For this video I made a 3D printed fishing lure because it's been a while since I've made fishing related content. The type of lure that I decided to make is a crawler lure, otherwise known as a creeper lure. It's a topwater lure that looks like it's swimming freestyle when you pull it through the water. I purchased the crawler wings from this website. They were nice enough to give me this free lure with my order. For the lure's weight, I purchased tungsten discs off Amazon. Here is how I 3D modeled the lure in Fusion 360. First, I sketched out the profile of the lure and then extruded it. Then I sketched the top profile and used it to cut the body of the lure. Then I used the fillet tool to curve out the edges of the lure and make it more streamlined. I cut the body in half so that I would only have to work on one side for all the details and then duplicate the other half when I'm done. I then sketched out the gill plate shapes and eye on the side plane, and then mapped the sketches onto the surface of the lure using the split face tool. After that, I used the offset tool to create offset faces of the gill plates and eye shapes, and deleted the old surface faces. I then filled the gaps between all the faces using the loft tool, and then attached everything together using the stitch tool. To finalize the eye and gill plate features, I softened the edges using the fillet tool. Next, I cut out channels for the hook eyes and line tie loop to be inserted into. I also cut out a hole for the tungsten disc to be housed in. Then I sketched out and extrude cut a groove for the crawler wings to attach to. I 3D printed the lure in two separate halves. I used 19 gauge steel wire to create the line tie loop in the front, a hook loop in the middle, and a hook loop in the back. I then glued the two halves together with super glue. I then tried attaching the crawler wings to make sure everything fit, and then realized I hadn't made a hole for the loop screw to attach in the middle of the crawler mount. The loop screw that attaches in the middle prevents the wing from bending back all the way. This is crucial for the swimming action of the lure. So I created the necessary hole by heating up a piece of wire with a lighter and melting the plastic. The crawler wing attachment helped guide the wire to ensure that the hole went in the right place. I then properly attached the crawler wings and tested the lure in my bathtub. I was quite happy with the action. After that, I glued in the eye decals and then glued in the tungsten disc. I then covered the disc with baking soda and super glue and then sanded it down. Once the super glue and baking soda looked smooth and flush with the surface of the lure, I coated it with resin. I cleared out resin from the screw holes using a piece of wire. After the resin cured, I covered the belly of the lure with a coat of silver paint. Unfortunately, some of the spray paint went too far and got on one of the eyes. Finally, it was time to attach the crawler wings and take this lure out for a test. Once I got to the lake, I made my first cast, yeeting my lure straight into some reeds. I spent a while trying to yank the lure free from the reeds, but unfortunately the line snapped. So in a desperate panic, I rushed home to get my float tube, rushed back to the lake, tried to inflate my float tube as fast as possible, and got into the water for my lure retrieval mission. Luckily, the lure was still there. So since I was already out on my float tube, I decided to resume testing my lure. The hectic wind and waves made it very difficult for the lure to swim properly because the waves would topple it over and make it spin like a helicopter. After fishing for an hour, I got one bite that my arm managed to get in the way of in the footage. I got a bite. I got excited because of the bite and wanted to keep fishing, but then gale force winds picked up and I decided it was time to go home. The next day I went to a smaller body of water to test the lure. The water was much more calm and so the lure was able to swim a lot better. I did, however, notice an issue that I also noticed the previous day at the larger lake. Many times after casting, one of the wings will stay closed, and no matter how many times I tug, the wing stays closed and causes the lure to be pulled in sideways. I'm not really sure why this keeps happening, but two of my guesses are that either the wings are too long for the size of the lure, or the lure needs to be more elongated in shape. If you have a lot of lure making experience, then please do share your thoughts about why you think this issue kept happening in the comments. And suddenly something awesome happened. After fishing for less than half an hour, I caught a largemouth bass. I'm really happy that I was able to catch a fish with my lure and that I didn't lose it after the first cast. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed watching the video. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!